This example here, I noticed that the variable is on the right side. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to switch sides. You don't have to, but I'm going to switch sides with the terms. So I'm going to put the 6 on this side, the 12y on this side. And notice that this arrow, right, the inequality sign is pointing towards the 12y. So I want to make sure that that arrow is still pointing towards the 12y, so this way. So that means my inequality sign also has to change. So that's one way to think of it. If you think of like an arrow pointing, then it should always point towards the same side there. All right, so now we have the variable on the left side, and notice that they look a little different, but basically you just flip everything around, but they're identical, they're equivalent to each other. So if you were to solve this one or this one, you're still gonna get the same solution set. So let's solve this out. So in order to make this into a 1y, I'm going to divide this by -12, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to simplify in the next step. So in the next step, when I simplify -12 divided by -12, that gives me 1y. And since I divided both sides by a negative number, I got to take the inequality sign and flip it around the other way. And if you don't know why, and you should know why, but if you don't know why we have to flip it when we divide both sides by a negative, make sure you watch that video that says why we have to flip the sign, because it's really important to know why things work in math, so that way you could get better and learn things much faster that way. All right, so we have to flip the inequality sign. So again, watch that video, and I'll explain why we have to do that. So that way math is not a mystery to you. And then over here, this fraction, I know I could actually simplify that. So I'm going to simplify this because these are each divisible by 6. We call that, the vocab word for that is the greatest common factor. That's the biggest number. I could divide it into 6 and 12, right? That's the biggest common number. I could divide them both by. And now I'm just going to simplify. So when I simplify this, I get 6 divided by 6, which is 1, and then 12 divided by 6, which is 2. And notice it was a positive number divided by a negative, so that means that my answer is going to be a -1/2, and that will be my solution set. And the final part would be just to draw a number line, so I can have my solution set. This is a -1/2, so I'm just going to put -2, -1, and 0. And I know -1/2 actually falls between these two numbers. So that's my -1/2. So -1/2. And notice that the inequality sign is bigger than. So any number bigger than -1/2 is a solution. So to show that I'm not including it, I put an open dot on that number. And numbers bigger than -1/2 would be shaded to the right. So I'll just shade everything to the right. And this is saying any numbers bigger than that. So any number that I pick out of this solution set and beyond, because it goes forever, will be a solution to that. We'll make this inequality true. And the same thing applies to that original one up here. Because this one and this one, these are equivalent. It's just this one is solved for y.